Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the BFNL Netball Show for another week. Great to be joining you once again here on the BFL website to talk all things netball in the Ballarat Football and Netball League. Sean Kelly's my name. Joining me as always, my co-host, and according to our live studio audience, media megastar Kim Bailey. Kimmy, welcome again.
Yeah, thanks, Sean. Nice to be back. Yeah, got a couple of guests in today, having a look at what we do. So, yes, I think I'll be having the proverbial hung on me after this by those two little men who are here watching.
That's okay. We did have one of those little men on one of our netball shows earlier this year and just decided to walk up and start talking to us when we're on camera.
He did do that until he realised. And we've got actually football royalty here today too, because we have one of the audience members is Jack Newitt, who was best on ground for AFL Goldfields yesterday.
Very good game yesterday.
Yeah, in AFL Goldfields in the Bob Davis Cup. So we've got some royalty here as well.
We do indeed. But speaking of royalty, let's talk netball, because another big weekend in the Ballarat Football Netball League. And you spoke, of course, of the Bob Davis Trophy yesterday. Our junior netballers taking on some pretty strong sides from the Geelong Junior Footy League.
Yeah, it was a great day. It was cold, of course, and it was pretty wet and windy with the first one, with the 13s. Look, they played a really good game. The 13s actually played Geelong at Bowen Junior Champs Grand Final and couldn't get over the line from them. Again, they couldn't get over the line. They had a really good game, though, and went down the end of our campaign for the 13s as well. So, again, Brodie Hutchison was best on court.
Yep,
so
again.
She's had a magnificent
She's been fantastic.
Tournament since we've started in January. Yep. So, it was a great end for them. They've had a change of coach midstream. Deb Hutchison come in has done a magic job, and so has Kelly Amor prior to that. But really proud of the girls.
Done a great job. The under-15s, of course, our superstar 15s.
Yeah, all conquering. A bit injury deprived. We had Charlotte Todd out, as we said last week, out with the broken leg, and Remy Hooper still recovering from an ankle injury. So we only went in with the bare 7. We had a couple of 13s on the bench, but had a really, really comfortable win there. You know, Prue and the girls have done a magnificent job, and they've just gone from strength to strength with each game. This is a team they played at the grand final at Bowen Junior Champs did, and as well, and had a really comfortable victory. And really pleasing to see young wing defence Remy Lawless being best on court. So
I did see that. That was great to see.
Great result, and she played a really, really great game. So to Prue and the girls, you should be very proud of yourself for the season.
And the under-17s as well, obviously the last game for the day.
Yeah, again we had a couple out. There was one in Singapore and one in Gold Coast, half their luck.
I
know
where I'd rather be right now.
Georgia Bear. So we had a couple away, and we went in with bare numbers as well. The Geelong team, they are pretty sure that they won the Bowen Junior Champs, but massive girls. They're just so big, and you know, they had a shooter. She would have been, at least for an under-17 girl, she would have been, I'd say she would have been 6'1", and a pretty well built girl was that. And Sophie Draffin did a really good job to try and stop it, but just the pure size, we couldn't get over it. So they really jumped us in the first 3 quarters, but we had a strong last quarter, and we pulled it back to I think 11 in the end. So great job. And Sophie Draffin, again, she won the Woodgrove Trophy, and she won again best on court. So well done. She's a really great little girl, great player. But to all our interleague girls and to our coaches, thank you. It's been a really long, hard road, and we're glad it's over. But the girls will miss it. The girls will miss it. I'll miss it. They're a really good group of kids.
Yeah, great to see our junior representative teams. That's over now, isn't it? It's finished for the year.
Yes.
We're just about to start on next year's campaign very soon as well.
Now we look forward to finals. You know, there's lots of... the next thing we'll be talking about is the junior finals and the senior finals, but that's my focus now, is to look at finals.
Before we start looking at finals, though, there's still a fair bit of water to go under the bridge in our BGT A-grade netball competition, which we found out on the weekend when North Ballarat City, who last lost a game in 2014, came up against the team that they played in the grand final last year in Sunbury, and Sunbury really gave them a scare. North City won in the end, 53-51, but a really close game, and given some recent results from Sunbury, a lot closer than what a lot of us thought it would be.
Yeah, I actually thought that Sunbury would most probably get a little bit of a touch-up in this game, but it was a real seesawing game. North jumped out from the block straight away and were 4 goals up at quarter time. Sunbury brought it back to even going into half time, then pulled ahead. They were, I think, 4 goals up going into the last, and a big last quarter by North saw them win by 2. It could have gone anyway.
Yep.
Sunbury would be extremely pleased coming out of this game because I never saw that coming. Now, they had another goaler in for the first time, and her name is Lauren Woodgate, and she's played a lot of indoor netball as well, and she's quite tall, and not a bad shot. She was pretty accurate. I think she shot around 78%. But just that extra injection, someone different in there made a big difference. And the defensive unit of Beck Anstie and Rachel Dobinson has taken a couple of weeks to get going, but they really clicked. They really clicked on the weekend. From what I'm hearing is that the pressure that was applied to the pass for the feed in to Jordan was extreme this week, and that gave Beck Anstie a really good opportunity to pick some balls off across the ring. So when they were trying to go deep into the pocket, and she was over to pick some of those balls off. So great effort by Sunbury. They'd be really buoyant by that result. North had Liv Jones away, so they'd most probably go, yeah, that's something that we've got up our sleeve. But great result. Sunbury've got a really good draw coming home as well. I think they only play Redan in the top 6 coming home.
That is a great draw.
So
having a look over it as we speak at the moment this week, which we'll talk about Ballarat, which is a very big game that we'll speak about later on. But after that, it is Sunbury will take on Redan in round 13. Then they have round 14 against Melton. Round 15, Sunbury have the bye. Round 16, they play Mountain South. Round 17, North Ballarat City again at Clark Oval. And round 18, they have Darley in the last round. So a couple of big ones there.
Yeah.
But also some very winnable games as well.
Yes, a really, really good run home. Now, Karen Meredith will join Sunbury, who, as their coach, she's been trying to come into the team, but she's had some other commitments. Karen is a very experienced coach. Has coached aerials at BFNL level and is with Southern Saints at the moment. So that'll take the pressure off the girls having to make those decisions. And I'm seeing that as a really big coup for them, and I'm really excited to see what happens with them coming into finals.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how Sunbury go as they sit on the ladder at the moment. I think they're in 5th spot after the weekend. You've got the ladder hidden under a couple of space. 4th spot at the moment, sorry. Tied on points with Redan and Sebastopol now, though, so obviously need to keep going if they want to push higher. Of course, we know the advantages to finish 3rd and above, but also just to keep Redan and Sebastopol at bay a little bit as well.
It's really close, isn't it? You look at from 3 down to 6, and there's only 4 points separating 3 to 6. So.
And there's only another game back to 7 as well.
Yeah, so we're coming up for a great second half.
We are indeed. Talking point number 3, as it is every week, Kimmy, Stockland Wendouree Player of the Week for round 11. Who has been the lucky player this week?
So this week is to a team that's been struggling, a member of a team who's been struggling, but they've really worked hard. And Shireen Wolf from Mountain South, she's been around for a long time. Is a veteran of the Mountain South.
Stalwart, probably the better word.
Stalwart, that's a nicer word.
It is.
Of the Mountain South Footy Netball Club. A very steady goaler who's been working really well with the kids and just had a really good game. They had a hard game and didn't get over the line on the weekend, but she's been a great player every single week and 100%. So congratulations, Shireen. Your Stockland's voucher is on the way out to you.
Congratulations, Shireen. Well deserved, and one of those people that helps make the Mountain South Football Netball Club run, not just on the court, but off the court as well. So well done to Shireen, and great to see our Stockland Wendouree Players of the Week. I think we've covered every team now, haven't we?
We have. Now it's just put the hand in the hat and see what team comes out.
Find the best player it'll be going forward, I think.
It will be, sure.
Of course it is. Of course, having a look at round 12 this week, multicultural round in the Ballarat Football Netball League. Grab a copy of the record this week as well. Some fantastic features on some of the multicultural players, not just within the league, but within AFL Goldfields as well, and multicultural lunch happening this week as well. So some good work there. Speak to Jason Johannison from the Western Bulldogs, of course, the star of the Western Bulldogs win from last week. So JJ's in the record this week.
So you would have been pretty excited about that, Shawnee?
Very much so. Yeah. Very much excited talking to JJ as well after the weekend. Just wanted to hug him through the phone, but that's another story for another day. Let's talk netball, and let's talk some pretty big games coming up this week. Starting at Wendouree Reserve, Lake Wendouree taking on Darley. Had a look at the Lakers on the weekend after half-time. They really flexed their muscles against Melton, and one of the big reasons was because in the 3rd quarter, Melanie Allen took to the court for the first time since hurting her ankle against Sebastopol all those weeks ago. Not only did she return, she had 11 shots at goal and scored 11 goals.
Yep.
She's back on fire straight away.
Yeah, well, she's a great player, and we've been counting the weeks till she's back. We thought she'd be back towards the end of the month, so for her to get a quarter in is fantastic. Get her in before finals, start working her. Just on that ankle, she just needs to do some sharp movements and maybe some cone work to make sure that it's 100%. But yeah, great to have her back, and good win for Lakers. So
they've got Darley this weekend, who lost last weekend and probably now are out of the finals race.
Out of contention. But Lakers really, they're holding on by 4 points to that third position, so they need to get this victory. Percentage is going to become really important.
I think you're right.
So I think they'll be trying to do as much as they can. But Darley's had a great season. They won't want to throw all their hard work away. And while I think Lakers will get a victory, it won't be huge.
It won't be easy.
No,
Darley definitely have been competitive all season long, and whilst I'm on the same, I'm tipping Lake Wendouree as well. I'm not expecting it to be a blow in any way or stretch of form. Bacchus Marsh taking on Melton South this weekend. Two of the teams that haven't had the best seasons on the win-loss ratio on the ladder, but will very much be looking forward to this game because I think both teams can go in thinking they're a legitimate chance to win this.
Yeah, I think so. But, as we've said, Bacchus hasn't had the wins, but they've been very close to some victories, and they've seen some great improvement. Ali Simons shot some great figures on the weekend.
As she has all season long,
basically. And she continued with that. They're such a young team, Mountain South, but I just can't see them getting a victory, and I think Bacchus will have a comfortable win. Yeah,
Bacchus Marsh have, as you said, looked very good all season long, and whilst Mountain South did look good in the last couple of weeks, regressed a little bit against the good side on the weekend. I just think Bacchus Marsh will be able to get the job done here. Sunbury taking on Ballarat at the Clark Oval this week. This is a massive game for the context of the season. Obviously, we've spoken about Sunbury a fair bit in the show so far, but Ballarat, a big win last week, but they still sit 4 points outside that top six. And of course, one of the teams they sit 4 points behind is this Sunbury side, so it's a really important game for them.
It's a must-win, isn't it, for both of these teams? I think Sunbury might have their tails up. Rupo have the bye this week, so I would say that we'll see a few of the Ruperswood girls play for Sunbury. It'll make it very difficult. For Ballarat, Kelly Moran's still been in great form, as well as Michaela George and young Abby Wiltshire, which spoke about before. But I just think with the player inclusions from Rupert's Wood that Sunbury will have a comfortable victory. And you've got a defender in Rachel Goveston who knows Kelly Moran fairly well this weekend, having of course played at Ballarat last year and knows how they played Kelly last year when she was in the team with them. So she'll know that the game plan hasn't changed all that much and how to be able to stop them as well. So I think that'll be crucial. Yeah, I think so. So I think Sunbury will get the win. Yeah, Sunbury for me as well in this one. Melton taking on Sebastopol at McPherson Park this week. Another big game as well. I tell you what, if Sunbury get the win over Ballarat and Sebastopol beat Melton here, Sebastopol go 2 games clear inside the top 6. And they've got some pretty good games on the way home as well. They've still got to play Melton South again. They've got a game against Redan, who they've beaten already. They've got a bye in there as well. They've got Lake Wendouree, which will be tough. They've got East Point, which will be tough. And they've got also Ballarat, which will be a big game. These next 2 weeks for Sebastopol could decide whether they play finals or not. Vital. That last game of the season might come down to whether Sebas playing East Point, Redan playing Ballarat. Yeah, could be very interesting. Sebas had a good game. The Can sisters shot extremely well. Again, it'll be... I think Melton will be disappointed. I spoke to Renee. They just can't get their structures right at the moment. I had a look at them, and that's what came out of it for me as well. They just couldn't get the structure right. They've got Katie Kokoschke, who's doing a great job at one end of the court. You've got Renee, who's doing a great job at the other end of the court. And then in the middle, it's just a little bit higgledy-piggledy at the moment. And like their defenders, apart from Katie, their defenders aren't overly tall as well, which, you need to have these tall timbers that the shooters are now. You need to have a nice tall girl. Unfortunately, they haven't got it. So, I unfortunately can't pick them. No, neither can I. Although, Renee did swing an interesting coaching move in the third quarter. Put herself into centre. There's some photos that are going up on Facebook. They're probably already up by this time. And
Renee Hulls with a centre bib on. I thought that was I thought I had to take a photo of that because
not too unusual. I played her when she played for me at Hume. I played her in the centre. And
how long ago was that though?
Oh, that was a little while ago.
Exactly.
But she was sensational there, and she's got such a smart netball brain. But I think Sebas will be too strong.
Yeah, Sebas for me as well. Last game for the round, Redan taking on North Ballarat City at the City Oval. Redan coming off a bye last week, of course, taking on North City, and North City, of course, with that scare last week that we spoke about. Again, though, good enough to pull it out in the last quarter.
Yeah, and the good teams can win in the last too, and they just put their foot down. Really hard game, isn't it? Really hard game for anyone to come up against North, and
exactly.
I think they'll be trying to prove a point this week, and I think they'll actually have a very, very comfortable victory.
Yeah, I think so as well, which is going to put the ladder in a very interesting position. If all those tips come together, you're going to have Ballarat will still be 4 points outside the top 6. Redan will be in 6th. Sebastopol will move up to 5th.
Redan have a few out this week too still, so unless they bring someone like Erin Riley in, who might slip in for a game, I'm not sure, to try and combat Jordan. But with Ruby Parry overseas, Tash Staff away as well, it's going to be very difficult for them. Yeah,
will be indeed coming up against one of the powerhouses of the league. The other powerhouse at the moment, East Point, having the bye this week. That's all the time we've got this week. Kimmy, thank you once again for coming on the Netball Show and sharing your wisdom with us.
No worries. Great to have you.
And it's great to have you with us on the BFNL Netball Show. Once again, we'll be back next week to wrap up what's going to be a pretty big round that we just spoke about in the BGT A-grade netball competition. We'll see you then.